fear of being killed. It's a fear of being sort of screwed. In other words, it's a fear of being taken to the cleaners, being had, having my purse slashed, essentially. It's a feeling which I associate with the Crawford Market in Bombay, where in a dark period in my past I had to carry out intricate semi-legal transactions which left me sleepless for nights. So then I had the idea, why do I think that? Why do I get this feeling from the ancestor souls that they are trying to take me for a short ride? And I realized it's because they are traders. They are traders of memes. This is what they love. They collect and trade ideas. So when you burst into this shamanic space, where Yggdrasil, the magic world ash, is rooted on a plane of travertine and is flames before you. When you break into this place, what they offer are gifts. They say, look at this, look at this, look at this. And these things are like miracles, toys, bubbles, Fabergé eggs, Cellini goldwork, jewels, and and yet they sing. They speak poetry. They create their own objects, which they offer to you. And in the midst of all of this cacophonous, elfin confusion and opulence and syntactical richness, you're trying to perform the eidetic reduction and figure out what the hell is going on here and what's real and what's not and what you can tell your lover and what you can tell your mother. And it's a craziness. After many years of being completely bludgeoned by this kind of thing, I finally understood, through making a kind of composite map of these trips, many of them overlaid over each other, that the place that you break through to, and all the high-dose tryptamine experiences lead toward this, is it's like a receiving area for a human being. It's like a playpen. It's someone very odd's idea of a reassuring environment for a human being. You know, sort of a cross between French bordello and early hyperspace. I mean, there's a lot of cut plush velvet and chrome and warm and domed and you're supposed to like this. You're supposed to say, how thoughtful. And then, you know, but somebody is looking in from another dimension and saying, you know, the human subject seems to have accepted the conditions in the reception area, something like that. I don't know what to make of this. I mean, I started out a rationalist and have ended up the pathetic creature you see before you. Well, and it was because I poked into the wrong places. I discovered, and many of you probably have too, or are soon about to, that reality is a very thinly spun cultural fiction. And as long as you stay on Main Street, it all holds together pretty well, you know. But my God, just walk down one of these alleys off Main Street and you discover, you know, channeling, psychic healing, the dreams of Atlantis, the this, the that, an endless cornucopia of fuzzy thinking. And in that, you know, there are nuggets of genius, because Main Street is clearly nowheresville. I mean, it's just male dominator, linear, post-Cartesian, high-tech, materialist, positivist, so forth and so on, the litany you know so well. So the great excitement for me in this shamanic dimension, and why I speak to it and what excites me, is the fact that here is something totally unexpected. beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, you may have believed in flying saucers, but did you ever believe that they would land in your bedroom? I mean, that's the promise which this stuff holds out. Something is curiously awry with our cultural machinery, and apparently we have a huge blind spot to a dimension of animate, organized, and non-human intelligence. You know, is it God? Is it the space people? Is it the goddess, the Gaian mind, the vegetable matrix of the planet, the light pump of the solar system? Who knows what it is? The fact is not to know what it is, but to experience it, to verify that this is going on. And that's the big news that the cataloging of cultural bric-a-brac brings back in the example of shamanism. Saying, you know, oh, that turned out to be phony, and this was done with smoke and mirrors, and for this they used pig guts or something. But these people, and that was how I did it. I mean, I went to India years ago as an ingenue and sat at the feet of these guys and sought wisdom. And, you know, it wasn't until I got to the jungle that people were willing to show me into this, the dimension that exceeded my wildest dreams. I mean, that's it. And my dreams are pretty wild. And they were then, and I'm sure yours are as well. And yet, even if we dream together, we cannot dream the frontiers of what is possible, because in our world of entropy and tawdriness and betrayal and stupidity, there is also, you know, the unspeakable, improbable presence of this thing in these plants. And, you know, I believe it called us forth out of primate organization. I believe that history is an effort to come to terms with this, a kind of hysterical love affair with the unthinkable, where, you know, you embrace it for 1,000 years, then you burn all your cities and books and persecute it for 1,000 years, and then you go mad and flip the coin again, because it's here with us. It is with us, tangible, experienceable, and yet not rationally apprehendable. It is the confounding of rationalism. And rationalism is the weapon by which the ego segregates the world. Me and them, inside, outside, my tribe, their tribe, the good people, the bad people. This segregation of the ego. This is the neurotic response that somehow comes out of the trauma of our evolution on the planet. Our mother has been turbulent. Our childhood was turbulent. I evoked this morning when I talked about how 9 times the glaciers rolled south from the poles. I mean, we were left alone in the apartment a lot is the practical equivalent of this. So now, finding our way back, we can't get out of this mess without a miracle. I mean, it's like the Grateful Dead sing, you know, you need a miracle every day. And the only miracle around seems to lie in this strange domain of this shamanic dimension, that against all odds and probability, there is help or something nearby. Anyway, the strange flickering light of an unvisited farmhouse, and we're broken down on the road with a double flat and rain is pouring. So we are going to have to make our way toward this thing which beckons and which seems to have shaped our history. And these Amazonian people kept the faith. During the prodigal wanderings of Western men through history, the Amazon peoples kept this faith, which the memory of which they had carried over the land bridge from the Eurasian continent, the oldest religion in history, the doorway out of ordinary time and into the presence of the elder things, whatever they may be. We don't even know. Our history is a fiction spun so thin that we are like children in the face of this possibility. H.P. Lovecraft, where are you now that we need you? Well, anyway, that's just sort of a way of evoking the space, the depth of the mystery. What we are talking about is not bright colors or paisley wallpaper that is found not to exist in the morning, but the best kept secret in the whole history of the human race, the fact that there is this alien dimension nearby and accessible through plants at great risk and with great benefit, something to which we have become culturally completely deadened. And hopefully a gathering like this is a permission, now that we are poised with a knife at the heart of the world, to ask the question, what is the world? What is this thing we are about to kill out of our greed for condominiums and parking space? Do we understand what we are doing? Can we understand what we are doing? Difficult questions. Let's hope that there are easy answers, because we have hardly time for any other sort, because the momentum of this thing is so great. The answer must be nearby. It must be within us, because we haven't time to go anywhere else or meet anyone else and understand them and apply their solution. We don't have that kind of time. We have to dream it up. The submarine is sinking now. What are you going to do about it? Well, I think that I personally felt that I searched the surface of reality like a blind person, probing for a chink, an opening, a possibility in the seamless surface of the high walls that seem to hem us in, the prison of Gnostic iron that the Mandayans placed at the center of the universe. And the chink in the armor is this radiant otherness that is showing through the plants. And what it is, who knows? What it's for, who knows? But that it loves us, that it too is reaching out toward us, is self-evident. And how can we not respond to that? We don't know what reality is. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we are. We are lost, and this is beckoning light, warmth, affection, and understanding for the plight of humanity. Shamans have always healed their people and predicted the weather and predicted the movement of game and this sort of thing out of resonance with this greater mind in nature, which has sheltered the human family over millennia. I mean, it is the unseen partner. It is the goddess. It's a real thing. And now it must somehow be invoked operationally again because of our predicament as a result of having turned away from that. So the task is to understand all this, each in our own way, and then to communicate it to others to understand each in their own way, and to build a Gailanic consensus for life. For life. Because it's the only thing we know that has given us self-reflection.